现在提到缅甸，大部分的人应该会想到电信诈骗案。可能有很多人早已淡忘，在2021年2月1日，缅甸军政府发动的军事政变，翁山苏姬被捕入狱，军政府领导人敏昂莱大权在握。不过4年时间过去了，他的权力基础已经不再稳固。为了要增加兵力，军政府在去年2月宣布实施人民兵役法，征召年轻人服役，而且是不分性别的，女性也得去从军。但这个政策反而引爆了反效果，很多年轻人决定向征兵令说不。为了要捍卫民主，反而拿起武器加入反抗军的革命行列。缅甸的民族武装组织三兄弟联盟在缅北的攻势大获全胜，已经控制了数百个边境城镇跟军事据点，而当中也包括缅北最大的城市腊戌。这代表军政府彻底失去了对缅北的控制权。另外，反抗军克钦独立军也宣布要重新开放跟中国的边境大门。这么做的目的是为了稳定当地的经济交流，也进一步削弱了军政府在这个地区的影响力。所以，眼看军政府要节节败退，甚至呢半壁江山都要垮了，敏昂莱当然想要力挽狂澜。传出找上了中国来介入调停。去年11月，他出席了大湄公河次区域经济合作会议，跟中国国务院总理李强会面。过了没多久，反军政府联盟成员就表态要释出善意，愿意在中国调解下来和军政府和谈。
缅甸这个因为军事政变不再成为投资热土，也慢慢被世界淡忘的东南亚国家，捍卫民主的反抗军在没有任何外援的情况下，打得军政府节节败退。2月13号，军政府发出全民征兵令，要求所有适龄公民不分男女都必须服役2年。预计首批将征召5000名新兵，1年预计征召6万名士兵。
Our future is already fading away. This law could be the greatest mistake of the military, and it is breaking youth's dreams.
除了年轻男女，包括退休军人，甚至不被承认为公民的罗兴亚人，都成为了军政府征兵的对象。
In a village further into the jungle, we went to a church to meet dozens of people who had fled their homes after the junta enforced a conscription law. From February, all men and women from the age of 18 became subject to mandatory military service, an indication that the junta needs reinforcements. A show of hands showed that a majority of those we met were trying to escape conscription. Many young men and women have chosen to join the revolutionary ranks rather than fight for the junta. The conscription law has inadvertently boosted the resistance, helping the pro-democracy forces build momentum following a series of coordinated attacks that have helped them to take control of more than half of the country's territory.
Since last October, government forces have lost around 30 cities and more than 400 military outposts. Unprecedented setbacks for an army that was once considered invincible. For 70 years, Myanmar has been torn apart by the longest civil war in history, with the Buddhist majority pitted against multiple ethnic groups organised into guerrilla armies. But today these groups are no longer fighting in isolation. Tens of thousands of young people across the country have taken up arms in the past 3 years. The coup had unintended consequences, uniting the junta's disparate opponents for the first time. The junta thought young people would be reluctant to abandon the comforts of modern life and take up arms. But the opposite has happened.
缅甸三大反军政府组织若开军、果敢民族民主同盟军、德昂民族解放军，跟被夺权后成立的民族团结政府结盟，攻城略地，打破了长达3年的血腥僵局。尤其反叛军控制了通往中国的贸易口岸，掌握经济命脉，为控制缅北扎下根基。根据外媒报道，目前同盟军阵营掌控的据点超过170个。军政府面临穷途末路。
The situation is going from bad to worse, and now China is about to step in. And when I say China is stepping in, I mean Chinese troops. Beijing is preparing to send soldiers into Myanmar. It has been watching the developments for months, and now it wants to put boots on the ground. The rebels have made steady gains in Myanmar. The junta's grip on power is slipping. They've lost vast swathes of territory since last year. More than half of Myanmar is now in the hands of rebels. And just a few weeks ago, the junta suffered another setback. They lost control of the Myanmar-Bangladesh border. It's a huge setback for the generals. And here it is borrowing Russia's playbook. China is launching its own private military force, something like Russia's Wagner Group, a group of mercenaries, a private army for hire. And this is the group that will protect Chinese interests in Myanmar. And where in Myanmar will these forces be deployed? Well, they could be tasked to protect oil and gas pipelines. Beijing is building one in Myanmar. It links the Rakhine state to China's Yunnan province. And this project is critical for China's energy security. It is part of the Myanmar-China Economic Corridor. This corridor includes some other projects too, like railway lines and a shipping port. So China is sending soldiers to secure all of this.
但即使反抗军如愿推翻了这个独裁军头，昔日喧闹的家园也因为常年内战，居民争相逃离，成了一片废墟，一座鬼城。
When the war is over, I hope they'll finally receive a proper education. Even though my children are still young, their ambition now is to take up arms, join a training camp, and go and fight. I give them fake guns and slingshots because I don't want them to have real weapons.
If peace returns, will Maui's men lay down their weapons? The rebel leader promises this will be his last battle.
Maui cannot be like old Maui. We done a lot of things already. So yeah, there's a blood on my hand. I don't want the new generation get on the blood on their hands. We're gonna finish their fight. And we were trying to go back to our old life. Rich or poor, we don't care.
The war could last indefinitely, but these rebels have not abandoned their dream. The dream of a Myanmar finally free of the military dictatorship. The rebels have received no help from other countries. If they win, they will have done it alone.